Hi guys, so I've said before that Parliament struggles to hold Boris Johnson and his ministers to account because of two things. The fact that the House of Commons doesn't have the authority to force members of Cabinet to correct the record. And also Boris Johnson's massive majority allows him at times to just ignore the democratic institution. This is where select committees come in. Government ministers are obliged to attend them when asked. Also, they're made up of members from different parties, so it's seen as less partisan. Now, Labour MP Chris Bryant, who I do believe will be one day in number 10, has been doing a wonderful job of holding the feet of members of government to the fire. But this exchange he had with the minister, well, wait till you hear how he defended Priti Patel.
Because Priti Patel went to the Bond premiere on the 28th of September 2021 as a guest of the Jamaica Tourist Board. She declared that only, not through the House, but through her department. Why is that in her ministerial capacity?
Well, that would be a matter for her register, but I think, I don't know the influence that in terms of her constituency.
Now, it was not about her constituency. She went as a minister, which is different, but we'll get to that in a moment.
That I don't know if there's a huge Jamaican population or not.
In her ministerial capacity?
Well, I think it's fairly obvious that she was invited then as the Home Secretary, not as.
Why is the Home Secretary being invited for whatever it is, £2,000 tickets? You don't declare an amount when it's done through the ministerial capacity. In essence, a minister gets to decide, don't they, where to register it?
Yes.
It's entirely up to them.
So it's entirely right that she would, I suspect, and I would suggest, she was invited as the Home Secretary.
But why?
Therefore,
What's a Bond premiere got to do with her role as Home Secretary?
Well, the nature of the film is one could argue, is connected to executive functions.
What?
I think
It's a matter for her, though, Mr. Bryant. I mean, individual cases notwithstanding.
But the fact we know about that is because it was logged, registered, and is now in the public domain.
This is insane. This is absolutely insane. Okay, before we get to Michael Ellis, the minister, let me bring up Michael Ellis so you can see him. Before we get to him, what Priti Patel seems to have done is she was invited to the premiere of the James Bond movie, received a ticket to the value of £2,000, but she didn't go as an MP, because if she went as an MP, in her constituency, she'd have to declare it through the House of Commons. But as she went as the Home Secretary, she didn't have to do this. She just had to declare something, but she didn't actually have to declare the value. So obviously she decided, I'm not going to go as an MP, I'm going to go as Home Secretary. So I don't have to declare this. Or maybe she has some other reason for doing that. But I want to get to the argument here of why she went. Because it has something to do with her role. What the hell? Really? This is the guy who's stood up in the House of Commons and said that Boris Johnson is an honest individual. I covered him before. He's volunteering to embarrass himself here. He could have just said nothing. Said, I don't know. Just leave it at that. It wouldn't have been so embarrassing. But to suggest that Priti Patel, it was right for Priti Patel to go because it was a Bond movie. Is it because, I don't know, is the Home Secretary responsible for MI5, MI6, the Secret Service or something? Is it she went to the Bond movie so she could learn something? Or maybe she was going to write a critique after? This is what you made, this is what you got wrong in your movie? Is that what her role was? Really? What next? You send, I don't know, whoever's responsible for science, send them to a Star Wars movie. This is insane. Makes zero sense, but of course it's an attempt to distract, once again, distract from the corruption. This is probably corruption here. She received a ticket to go to see a movie. She decided not to declare it through the House of Commons. She decided to declare it through her department. And she probably thought she'd get away with it. But once again, the response from the government minister, yeah, it was right for her to go because it has something to do with her role. insane. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.